Welcome to Module 5. Choose plants to meet your goals. Congratulations on identifying goals for your school garden. As your next step, this video will help you understand the importance of choosing the right types of plants, the benefits that different plant types offer, and how to choose plants that meet your team's agreed upon goals and purpose. Successful school gardens carefully choose what to plant. If your team intends to accomplish certain goals, you must choose plants that align with those goals.
Having a good plan in place about how this garden is going to be used, what is the intent, and then how do we plant things that make the most sense.
It goes back to the student and the teacher's interests, and also the variety of curriculum that we must accomplish.
In our garden at Hubble, we like to get as many different types of plants as possible to spark as much interest from different people.
There's huge value in variety, and that's part of the planning of the different areas.
Whether it be the butterfly garden or the raised beds or the prairie or whatever that may be, we can meet those needs in a variety of ways versus just having a vegetable garden.
I really like to plant a variety of types of plants, like something that you can eat that's a flower, something you can eat that's a fruit, something you can eat that's a stem.
Things that kids can get some immediate gratification from, I think that's important.
We allow the children to actually decide what we grow.
We try to look at our culture and the people we're serving and what is it they like and that they would eat and that they would become interested in.
A diversity of plant types is usually best because you often have a diversity of goals. Consider the benefits each plant type can provide. Also, look at the culture of the community which you serve and the types of plants they are familiar with. Now that you know to diversify your plants, what options are available to your team? To find the answer, we interviewed dozens of school garden coordinators, volunteers, and organizations that support school gardens. 6 plant types were mentioned over and over as being important to consider.
Fruit is the first thing kids will pick up and eat or try because of the color, because of the sweetness and the taste.
We ended up working with a group who donated fruit trees if a teacher would take the training.
Majority of our plants in the garden are vegetables, and we like to grow them to show the kids how much the flavor is different from something that's homegrown to something that's store-bought.
I think the vegetables are incredibly important. I think children need to experience all sorts of different tastes and uses for the food they eat.
Vegetables give the nutrients that the body needs and the brain needs for proper growth and nutrition.
Vegetables may tie great into one level's learning. The natural prairie can tie into a different level's learning at the same time.
Native plants will bring in the pollinators. In light of the problem with the bees, we really need to be conscious of what we're doing, and kids need to know that, hey, I'm not going to swat that bee because it's going to help me be able to eat a peach later or to be able to have sweet corn this fall.
We chose to do some flowers along with the plants that are going to be a little bit smaller, so that way they look a little bit more full and colorful up in the front.
We always include flowers in our garden to attract pollinators.
We've spent a lot of time this spring beautifying our school grounds, and flowers add beauty and happiness.
Flowers in a garden bring people there. People see them, the color, the structure. Kids want to pick them, take them to their mom or to someone else that's special.
The reason we chose herbs this year in these beds are because we use them as a sensory garden for taste and smell.
Our herbs, they help a lot of our families, even for teas, different types of teas.
We like to plant herbs just to show that most of the things that we buy in the store are things that we can grow ourselves.
Agricultural crops in a garden setting at a school would be important because kids need to know where their food sources come from.
I think it's important for kids to see that the crops that are grown in their state, to actually grow them themselves in their school garden. I mean, other states grow cotton and sorghum and whatnot, and we grow corn.
There are ag literacy lessons that can go along with those crops, and to reach outside of your community and find maybe those organic farmers or just different types of farms for the kids to visit and for you as an educator to learn from.
In addition to these 6 plant types, there are 6 additional things to consider about your plant choices.
My first thing would be to look for the kinds of plants that are the easiest to grow, and even the ones that are the quickest.
Mainly common plants. I didn't try to get too crazy with it, simply because as you kind of go around that process, there's reasons common plants are common. It's because they're successful.
Another thing to keep in mind is, when is your plant going to be ready for harvest?
Is this a garden that's for a summer program? You know, do we want crops in the garden that are going to be for spring or for fall?
We want to help school gardeners plan their garden so that the kids are in on more of the harvest, like planting stuff that matures in 30 days.
You want to have a good balance of plantings that'll blossom and bloom in spring, some that will just kind of that can handle summer stress, and then other ones that'll bloom in the fall.
And I would really encourage schools to plant some perennials. It takes time to plant those kinds of things, but the long-term return is great.
Many schools are trying to plant more perennial plants so that they'll continue to come back year after year, and the maintenance is less, and there will always be something coming back into the garden year after year.
Perennial crops are long-living and they spread, so you can begin with possibly one small plant and eventually have enough that you can graft the plants and give them away to students so that they can take those plants and plant them at their house or in a pot and spread the wealth through food.
Putting up poles and having green beans grow up on them is kind of an awesome thing for kids to do.
Are your beds raised? You might want things that maybe can go a little bit lower, rather than if it was on the ground, you might need things that go a little bit taller, just because we have the depth.
The thing about having plants at different heights, it helps with different people. Also for structures, like plants that grow together and that help each other as they grow.
Companion planting, specifically with the Three Sisters garden, which is squash, beans, and corn.
You can plant cucumbers around corn because the cucumbers can vine up on the corn stalk, not hurting the corn stalk, but supporting the cucumber at the same time.
It all works together, they grow well together, they support each other, not just structurally, but also chemically with what they excrete into the soil.
Some cultures don't eat certain types of plants, and I really think that that's important to show them this is what we can grow here and this is how you can eat it or enjoy it.
We have a program that actually goes throughout the year, and we discuss what it is we'd like to grow.
Plants that they are familiar with, because that's the first way to get them here.
Fruits, vegetables, native plants, flowers, herbs, and agricultural crops are all plant types that provide different benefits to your school garden. Additionally, you need to think about the following. How easy do these plants grow? When do they ripen? Are they perennials? How tall is each plant? Do some plants grow better together? And do our kids and parents know these plants? Get started today. Download planting guide number 5 for this video. Fill out each section as a team and identify which plant types and characteristics will help you achieve the agreed upon goals of your school garden.